Look, I reckon Caitlin Clark is going to be even better coming into the season. Just look at her arms, for God's sake.
Caitlin Clark just sent shockwaves through the WNBA. And no, it's not just because she's still launching logo threes like they're layups. This time, the buzz isn't about her shooting. It's about her physique. Clark went into the offseason with one mission: to bulk up, get stronger, and come back as a more explosive version of herself. Now, she's looking like a whole new beast. And one guy who's probably regretting his earlier shade, UConn's own Geno Auriemma.
And Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. You know, Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement.
Remember when Geno just couldn't resist downplaying Clark's ability to handle WNBA physicality? That smug little, "we'll see if she can take the hits" routine? Yeah. About that, it's not aging well. Turns out, Caitlin wasn't just ready for the hits. She took them, learned from them, and came back rebuilt into an absolute monster.
Well, I mean, Geno Auriemma was talking about Caitlin Clark and Paige being the same build. Yeah, they're not the same build right now.
Let's talk about the journey. Clark's rookie season wasn't just impressive. It was a baptism by fire. She wasn't just scoring. She was getting knocked down, shoved, hacked, and basically treated like a human punching bag by defenders, like Chennedy Carter, Dejanai Carrington, and of course, Angel Reese. If you didn't know any better, you'd think the league had a bounty on her. That wasn't defense. It was a straight-up crash course in full-contact basketball.
The hot topic going on right now. Caitlin Clark says she got cheap shotted against the sky. I mean, throughout the season, she's been getting beat up. Hard screens, elbows, knocked down.
And yet, through all of it, Clark never cracked. She never retaliated. She just kept getting up, draining shots, and doing what she does best: making people look silly. Critics thought the hits would break her spirit. Instead, they ignited a transformation. While some players spent the offseason chilling, Clark hit the gym like it owed her money.
All right, guys, we're starting a little TikTok weight room vlog. We're going to show you what we do.
Get the butt down.
Okay, speed. Okay, speed.
Wait, no, support.
Oh, she is strong. All right, guys, that's our lift. We are strong. Okay, we're actually strong. What?
The result? A new, bulked-up version of the most dangerous player in the league. Her arms, sculpted. Her core, steel. Her presence on the court, commanding. And for the coaches who doubted her toughness, looking at you, Geno, this is your official "I was wrong" moment.
Best and well-known basketball players on the planet right now. And this past offseason, she worked really hard to add 8 pounds of muscle to her frame to give her an additional edge on the offensive and defensive ends of the court. And it clearly paid off because she was able to finish around the rim better and play tougher on ball.
Stephanie White, her coach with the Indiana Fever, has already pointed out the shift. Clark isn't just more durable. She's a completely different athlete now. Stronger, faster, sharper. And this time, she's not just surviving the physicality, she's dishing it out.
Of yesterday, a lot of people were talking about it. Just how much bigger Caitlin Clark has gotten. That's all people are talking about. So obviously, if you're looking at the picture with her with Serena Williams, like her arms look a little bit bigger, but it's kind of hard to tell from there.
Gone are the days when defenders could shove her off her spots. Now, she's the one initiating contact. She's posting up smaller guards, absorbing hits, and finishing plays. And she's still launching logo bombs. Only now, she's doing it with defenders bouncing off her like foam pads.
How much bigger Caitlin Clark's arms are than last year.
It's like watching a Marvel origin story play out in real time. Rookie Clark was already lighting up the scoreboard, but now she's playing bully ball with a grin on her face. Imagine what happens when you add strength, stamina, and confidence to someone who was already the league's biggest problem.
And we've seen it again more and more throughout this offseason, like pictures of Caitlin Clark, just how much she is bulked up. And again, it's a sign of somebody that is very clearly working her way towards being, well, no longer the skinny guard that they said was nowhere, was not big enough.
And let's not ignore the poetic justice. Geno Auriemma, who hasn't coached a player of Clark's caliber in a decade, had the audacity to question her ability to keep up physically. Meanwhile, Clark just became the literal blueprint for turning adversity into dominance. Hope he's enjoying the view from irrelevance, because Clark's running the league now.
Baby, if Caitlin Clark is on the team, it becomes the right team. Because Caitlin Clark is on it. It's like saying Michael Jordan's not on the right team. It's the right team if Michael Jordan is on the roster.
Every team that thought they had her figured out just found themselves scrambling for new defensive strategies. You can't body her out of games anymore. You can't rough her up and expect her to fold. She's stronger, smarter, and still carrying that unshakable chip on her shoulder. And here's the reality. The stronger Caitlin gets, the more unstoppable her game becomes. Her passes are sharper, her cuts more explosive, and she's moving through defenders like there's a force field around her. This isn't just an off-season glow-up. It's a declaration. Clark isn't here to play along. She's here to dominate.
I gotta ask you a basketball question.
Yeah.
I know that you work really hard in the off-season. You said yesterday you're always trying to get better. What's the thing that you're working on in this off-season?
I think, honestly, besides the actual basketball skill part of it, I think getting stronger, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm in the weight room a lot, just building that strength. Obviously, it was hard going right from the college season to the professional season. You don't get to spend a lot of time in the weight room, so that's what I've tried to focus on the most here. And then obviously, a lot of things on the court. I'm always wanting to get better, and that's kind of what drives me, and I love it. I love getting to do it, and I feel very fortunate that it's my job.
So if you're a defender thinking about getting physical with Caitlin Clark in 2025, good luck. She's not just bracing for the hits anymore. She's meeting you at the point of impact. And if Geno Auriemma is watching, he might want to start taking notes, because Caitlin Clark didn't just respond to the league's aggression. She owned it, flipped it, and turned it into fuel. Now the WNBA is about to face the consequences.
Not only that, like Caitlin Clark has, I hope that Caitlin Clark has not put on, because in fairness, she doesn't look like there's too much size being put on. But compared to last season, how much bulk she has put on. You would hope, again, for a Caitlin Clark, because Caitlin Clark is built like a soccer player.
The entire WNBA just got a reality check, and her name is Caitlin Clark. She's not coming back as the same player. She's coming back like she hit a cheat code in the offseason. If anyone thought they had her figured out after last season, they're in for a very rude awakening. This isn't just a player preparing for year 2, it's a complete evolution. Clark isn't interested in just having another solid season. She's on a mission to etch her name alongside the greatest to ever do it. This transformation, it's not your typical, I hit the gym a bit story. It's the kind of off-season that legends are built on.
Effect on the pace that she plays at, because if you watch Caitlin Clark play, the pace that she plays at is more here. Like, Caitlin Clark is much faster here than she is, like, physically. And that's one of the things I don't think people really
So the big question, can Clark bring this new power into real game action? The answer's already written in bold letters. Absolutely, yes. We're not talking about someone who just added a little weight room muscle. Clark has upgraded every aspect of her game. The version of Caitlin Clark that WNBA defenders bumped and bruised last year. She doesn't exist anymore. In her place is a tougher, meaner, and far more complete player, one that's going to give defenders nightmares.
She's built like a long-distance runner, like her natural build, which is why there hasn't been too many injuries. She's got that elasticity that doesn't seem to really be too common as far as WNBA players are concerned. Like, considering whether it be WNBA in college, she doesn't put that much force through her legs, considering how much speed she uses. Like, there's not that much change of direction. She's just downhill at once.
Last season, it was all about her speed, her limitless range, and those jaw-dropping no-look assists. That hasn't gone anywhere, but now she's added a physicality that makes her a matchup nightmare. Those defenders who used to try and body her up to knock her off rhythm, now they're the ones getting pushed off balance. One of the most noticeable changes? Her post-up game. Clark's been living in the paint this offseason, mastering how to seal off defenders, absorb hits, and finish with strength. She's not just shrugging off contact. She's seeking it out. Think about that. The same player who used to be hunted by physical defenders is now the one dishing it right back. And the league, it's scrambling to adjust.
3.0 MVP is hers. Let's go. Fever admin, I love you. Caitlin put some weight on, bro. She definitely got in the weight room. And like, I don't think Caitlin put weight on. I think Caitlin put a lot of muscle on. I think that's what the biggest difference is that we're seeing out of Caitlin. You know, going into this upcoming season, I think Caitlin put a bunch of muscle on, and it shows. It shows within her, you know, her body frame. It shows that her arms is bigger and her thighs is way wider. She definitely put some.
And when she drives, it's no longer about dodging bumps or flailing for foul calls. She's powering through defenders, finishing with both hands, and converting those tough layups she used to miss. This isn't finesse anymore. This is force. This transformation isn't just about adding strength. It's about removing any exploitable weakness. Opponents used to think they could wear her down, play rough, bump her on every possession, try to frustrate her into bad shots or turnovers. Not anymore. Now she's the one setting the tone physically, dictating how the game is played.
Caitlin Clark in college was not the strongest player in the world. Like, she was somebody that wasn't weak by any means, but we saw when it came to the WNBA that she wasn't able to really assert herself physically.
Clark's evolution also shows in her passing game. The added strength means she's holding defenders on her hip longer, controlling space, and squeezing passes through tighter windows. She's creating angles that didn't even exist before. Trapped by two defenders? No problem. Clark powers through, threads the needle, and hits a shooter right in the pocket. It's not just vision now, it's vision with force. But here's where Clark really separates herself from the rest. She's not content with improvement in just one area. She's fixing everything. Remember that workout clip that lit up social media with millions of views in just a day? That wasn't just for show. That was a preview of the storm coming.
Saw this workout. This workout has gotten a lot of people excited for Caitlin Clark because she is like directly working on her weaknesses, which I think is a good look, honestly. I think that's a really, really good look for her because, again, when we're seeing somebody working on their weaknesses and not the glamorous weaknesses.
Let's break it down. First, ball handling under extreme pressure. Last year, Clark led the league in turnovers, some of that due to her teammates not being able to handle the heat on her passes, but a lot of it came from intense double teams and defenders swarming her every possession. So, what's she doing about it? She's working through it, sharpening her handle, getting lower, faster, and more controlled. She's making sure those defenders won't even get a chance to trap her this time around. Second, her mid-range game. Everyone knows Clark can launch it from the logo or finish at the rim. But what about that awkward in-between zone, the one spot defenders tried to funnel her into? Not anymore. She's drilling floaters, working on pull-ups, and making sure she has a counter for every defensive coverage. Now, there's no spot on the floor that's safe to give her space. Third, finishing through contact. This is huge. Clark's never shied away from going to the rim. But last year, it meant taking hits. Some clean, some not so much. This offseason, she's taking that contact in practice, training with resistance, simulating game-like collisions. So now she's not just surviving them, she's finishing through them. And have you seen her arms? That muscle isn't just for show, it's part of the plan. Clark has fortified her game from top to bottom, making sure that when defenders come in with elbows, body checks, or slaps across the forearm, she's unfazed.
She's back in her natural habitat, back in the lab, playing basketball, and it's got to be a scary sight for the rest of the WNBA if she gets even better, because it's not as if she wasn't absolutely phenomenally elite as a rookie and arguably the best player in the league after the Olympics.
Caitlin Clark isn't just evolving. She's leveling up into the most dangerous offensive threat the WNBA has seen in years. And the craziest part, she's only in her sophomore season. If she's making these types of seismic improvements this early, what happens when she hits her prime? We're not just talking about a rising star. We might be witnessing the birth of one of the all-time greats.
With the bulking up, there are definitely times where that has caused more injuries. So I would be a little bit concerned for that, but there's not much of a concern. There's genuinely not much of a concern.
For defenders who thought last season was rough, they're in for a rude awakening. Clark has reloaded, recharged, and reinvented herself. This version of her is faster, stronger, and 10 times more unpredictable. Coaches aren't just game planning for her anymore. They're praying for miracles. And this isn't just online chatter. Analysts are already putting her near the top of the MVP conversation before the season's even started.
That's a really, really important thing. You can do it gradually. And I don't think she bulked up like a crazy amount. Like, she's not going to be physically destroying people. I just don't think she's going to quite get bullied as much as she did.
Clark's transformation isn't just about putting up big numbers. It's about changing the game itself. She was already a scoring machine with logo-range threes and no-look assists. But now she's bringing a physicality that makes her nearly impossible to contain. Think of it like upgrading a race car with tank armor. You're not just chasing speed, you're dealing with impact. The days of defenders pushing her around are over. Now she's the one setting the tone and daring them to push back. Last season, teams tried to slow Clark down with contact, hitting her, bumping her, throwing bodies at her like they were playing rugby instead of basketball. But this season, that playbook is useless. She's not absorbing hits anymore. She's dishing them right back. And defenders who used to throw elbows, they're getting bounced off like flies. The physical edge Clark has developed is making opponents rethink every defensive scheme.
A couple of times you can see her arms, you're like, okay, she's gotten a lot bigger. And I do like the fact that she, by the end of the season, she was taking people in the post a little bit more. And that's the one thing I like with Caitlin Clark, is that not that she's got good post footwork, but she's got a good ability to kind of like bump with her left shoulder and then shoot over her right. That kind of layup hook.
But her evolution goes beyond scoring. The biggest twist? Clark is becoming a defensive threat in her own right. She's not just hanging with quicker guards. She's muscling through screens, sticking to her matchups, and making life miserable for opposing playmakers. Gone are the days when teams could exploit her on defense. She's turning into the kind of two-way player that's rare even in men's basketball. Remember when opponents used to target her defensively? That strategy is outdated. Clark has improved her lateral quickness, her awareness, and most importantly, her strength. She's holding her own in the post, jumping passing lanes and refusing to get caught flat-footed. And when she's not shutting players down, she's flipping defense into offense with lightning-quick transitions.
That Caitlin Clark is the first player to ever average a double-double in the WNBA with points and assists. I think she's going to likely set the record for assists per game in a season at some stage in her career.
And if you're wondering whether all this translates to jaw-dropping stats, oh, it does. There's real talk around the league that Clark could average 25 points and 15 assists per game. That's not just MVP material. That's historic. If she even sniffs those numbers, she'll be the first WNBA player ever to average a double-double in points and assists across an entire season.
It's going to be a situation where maybe she's not the best player in the world straight away. Maybe she's not the best player in the world by game 10, but we can't forget last year that she just got better and better and better. If there's a scenario where, like, I don't think it's far-fetched to say Caitlin Clark could average 23 and 10.
And when she decides to score, good luck. She's not just launching from the parking lot anymore. She's bodying smaller defenders down low, using her added strength to muscle through contact and finish at the rim, or kicking out to an opens shooter. She's becoming a complete offensive system in one player.
The goal is not for Caitlin Clark to be, realistically shouldn't be for her, to be the best player in the world tomorrow. The goal should be to be the greatest player of all time. And to be the greatest of all time, you don't have to be the best player in the world next year.
Let's talk about those fouls too. Last year, Clark got hacked non-stop, and referees let a lot of it slide. She was smaller, and defenders knew how to get away with physical play. But this year, not so easy. That added muscle means every bump, every elbow, and every cheap shot is far more obvious. And that means more trips to the line. And when she's at the stripe, automatic. But here's the part that's absolutely wild. She's only getting started. Year 2. That's it. She's not just developing her game. She's setting a blueprint for the next generation of players. Her message is clear. If you're not evolving, you're getting left behind. Clark is showing what it means to combine skill, toughness, and intelligence in a way that's revolutionizing the league.
The goal should be to fully cement yourself in that conversation next year, and then by year 3, make it so that the only argument, maybe the only argument against her being the best player in the world is A'ja Wilson herself. And then by year 4 or 5, when Juju starts to come into the league, when Juju comes in, when Hidalgo come in, people are like, oh, these are the comparisons. I mean, no one's going to have those comparisons if at that stage Caitlin Clark is coming off an MVP season and a title and is the best.
The entire WNBA is paying attention. You can feel the ripple effects. Players are hitting the gym harder. Coaches are redrawing their defensive plans, and fans are clearing their schedules. Clark's transformation isn't just about one player's growth. It's changing the entire league dynamic. So what should we expect from the upcoming season? Fireworks. We're about to witness one of the most explosive, record-shattering campaigns in WNBA history. Clark's new strength and sharpened skills are going to leave a trail of highlights and broken records in their wake. This isn't just a season, it's a moment in time. So grab your snacks, find your favorite seat, and prepare yourself. Because Caitlin Clark is ready to put on a show like we've never seen before. And the rest of the WNBA, they're just hoping to survive the storm. Are you ready? Let us know. In the comments, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.